Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Legislative Day number 9 will now come to order. And I'd like for everyone to stand and have a moment of silent meditation. Thank you very much. I understand Councilman Crandall have some guests.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have some guests tonight. We are joined by some fellow elected officials. We have the Middleborough Elementary School Student Council with us tonight, and they're going to lead us in the pledge.
That's good.
You guys are in charge. Start whenever you're ready.
There's the flag.
I
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, guys. And Councilwoman Bevins reminded me that when Middleborough Elementary was in her district, she got you guys air conditioning. She wanted to make sure you knew that.
Thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. Is there a motion to approve the journal for the meeting of April the 16th?
I'll move it.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The journal is approved. Enrollment of bills. Bills 22-18 and 23-18 were passed by the council, signed by the county executive, and hereby enrolled. Mr. Secretary, will you now read all bills for introduction this evening?
Bill 46-18, breweries in the RC zones. Bill 47-18, manufacturing light zone. Bill 48-18, property tax credit for senior veterans. Bill 49-18, property tax credits for public safety officers. Bill 50-18 was withdrawn prior to the meeting. Bill 51-18, development laws vesting. And Bill 52-18, prevention of access to firearms by minors.
Thank you. The council will now consider all bills for final reading and vote this evening. Mr. Secretary, the first bill, please.
Bill 25-18 is sponsored by all council members. The 2018 Basic Services Maps.
Mr. Dave Thomas.
Nobody got on this bill with me? Nobody got on that bill with me?
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, Bill 25-18 repeals and replaces Bill 15-17 with the current maps for water, sewer, and transportation deficient areas as required by the Growth Management Article 4A of the Baltimore County Zoning Regulations. The Planning Board made recommendations on February 15, 2018, and forwarded them to the council. The council held a public hearing on April 2, 2018. There are no water deficient areas for this year. The sewer map had one area of concern, which has been closed and removed, and the remaining deficient areas are being monitored, leaving only Richland Manor as the sole deficient area. The Bureau of Traffic Engineering and Transportation Planning memo gives details of all the signalized intersections performing at levels D, E, or F level of service. And draft versions of the map have been provided to the council for your review and signature. Are there any questions?
Are there any questions for Mr. Thomas? Thank you, Mr. Thomas. I understand there is an amendment to Bill 25-18.
There's an amendment in your books, Mr. Chairman. It's sponsored by Councilman Marks. This amendment is to the transportation map, and it expands the commuter shed or the traffic shed for the intersection of York Road and Burke Avenue.
Is there a motion to approve Amendment Bill 25-18?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Amendment 25-18.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The amendment has passed. Is there a motion to approve Bill 25-18 as amended?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll for Bill 25-18.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Ayes have it. 25-18 as amended is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Bill 26-18 is sponsored by Councilwoman Bevins. Rental housing licenses.
Councilwoman Bevins.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Bill 2618 is an expansion of the already existing rental registration program that's been in effect in Baltimore County since 2007. The bill repeals some of the exemptions of the county's rental registration program. Specifically, the bill repeals exemptions for group houses and dwellings not connected to public sewer. The bill also narrows the language on who can reside in a rental dwelling. How this came to be is we found out that we still had rental properties in Baltimore County that weren't registered because they were on sewer line, not public. And that to me was outrageous, that because of the way that their toilets flushed, that they would be exempt from a rental registration program. We all know that this program is a very inexpensive way of, and the law, to register your rental properties so that when you have a tenant, you have a safe property. It has to do with hardwiring smoke detectors, making sure there's a carbon monoxide detector, making sure that if you have a basement area and you want people to sleep in that area, you have to have an exit for them to get out of, because in case there would be a fire on the first floor, they wouldn't be able to get out of the dwelling. And it's just simple things like making sure the furnace works and the toilet flushes. So these are pretty simple things, whether you're paying $400 a month rent or $3,000 a month rent, you want these standards applied to all our rental registrations. So this is just expanding. Already Mr. Mike Moeller, I don't think he's here tonight, he came in and testified that the administration was in favor of this bill as well, so I hope my colleagues will support it.
Thank you. Are there any comments? I understand there is an amendment to this bill, Mr. Secretary.
There is an amendment, Mr. Chairman, in your books. Is sponsored by Councilwoman Bevins. It is a technical amendment. It was actually recommended by the Office of Law, and it provides that any property owner who is now subject to the requirements, the licensing requirements of this bill as a result of the repeal of any of the exemptions, has until September 1, 2018 to obtain a license, and enforcement against any such person would not take place until September 1, 2018.
That's correct. We want to make sure that we could give property owners the time, not crunch time, within 30 days, to give them the time to work with the county and make sure that they got the, because you have to have a certified inspector come after you make these repairs to the home. So we want to make sure that they had ample time to do this. And again, we're not, this is not creating more rental registrations. It's just having the rentals that are already in Baltimore County registered. It's not creating more. And the community associations support this in my district. It really helps identify landlords when there is a problem with a rental property.
Is there a motion to approve amendments to Bill 26-18?
I'll move it.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the amendments to Bill 26-18.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Amendments to Bill 26-18 is passed. Is there a motion to approve Bill 26-18 as amended?
I'll move it.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 26-18 as amended.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Ayes have it. 26-18 as amended is passed. The council will now consider all fiscal matters. Extensive testimony was taken at the council's work session on May the 1st. The witnesses who testified at the work session are available to restate their testimony if needed. I'll now call upon the secretary to read the cover letter for fiscal matter number 1.
Fiscal matter 1 consists of 3 contracts for temporary staffing services.
Are there any questions or comments? Is there approved fiscal matter? Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on fiscal matter number 1.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Fiscal matter number 1 is approved. We will now consider all miscellaneous business. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
This is a notification from the Director of Budget and Finance regarding the awarding of contracts over $25,000 by a process other than formal competitive bid. The contracts are required to be announced at the Council's legislative meeting. There are 2 contracts this evening. Applied Biosystems, LLC, $55,510, and User Testing Incorporated, $135,000.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 34-18, a resolution to expand residential permit parking A for the eastern area of Towson.
Mr. Dave Thomas.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, Resolution 34-18 is to designate a residential permit parking area expansion to Area A in East Towson. Article 18, Title 2, Subtitle 4 of the County Code authorizes the establishment of the residential parking area on residential streets in certain residential zones. At least 65% of the dwelling units in a proposed area must petition the Director of Public Works, who then conducts a study to determine if the proposed area meets the criteria of the statute. A public meeting must be held, and the recommendation of the Director is forwarded to the County Council for action. Residential parking permit area A was established by the Council by Resolution 54-80. This extension has been requested by petition of the area residents. The Department of Public Works conducted the studies required under Article 18, Section 2-401, and found that the requirements for the recommended expansion have been met. The required public hearing was held on December 5th of 2017. Residents of the area may obtain a parking permit from the Department of Permits, Approvals, and Inspections. The cost of the issuance of the permits is covered by fees assessed to the department. No fee is required for a resident of 65 years of age or older. Are there any questions?
Yes, Councilman Marks.
Thank you very much. Just want to thank the Department of Public Works for working with the Wiltondale community on this issue. Wiltondale is the neighborhood to the east of St. Joseph Hospital, and there, as in many neighborhoods, there's always an issue with encroachment of commuter students from Towson University. It's not a perfect solution, but I think it helps, and there is support from an overwhelming number of residents in that area. Thank you.
Any more comments? Is there a motion to approve Resolution 34-18?
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call a roll on Resolution 34-18.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Ayes have it. 34-18 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 35-18 is sponsored by Councilman Jones. This is a resolution to approve the refund of property taxes collected from Vitaly Gutkin, who is a disabled veteran and entitled to that exemption by state law.
It is my honor and privilege to move that resolution.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 35-18.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Resolution 35-18 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 36-18 is sponsored by Councilwoman Bevins. This is a resolution to approve, that resolution actually has been withdrawn. The next item is Resolution 37-18, sponsored by Councilwoman Allman. This is a resolution to approve the refund of property taxes collected from Maxine Campbell, who is a surviving spouse of a disabled veteran and entitled to the exemption under state law.
It's my honor to move it.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Almond?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Resolution 37-18 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 38-18 is sponsored by Councilman Jones. This is a resolution to approve the refund of taxes collected from Ivory Harris, who is a disabled veteran.
I will move the resolution.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 38-18.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Almond?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Ayes have it. Resolution 38-18 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 39-18 is sponsored by Councilman Crandall. This is a resolution to approve the refund of taxes collected from John Pappas Jr., who is a disabled veteran.
It's my honor to move the resolution.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 39-18.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk? Aye. Mrs. Almond?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Resolution 39-18 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
The next item is a request from Councilman Crandall that the council confirm his appointment of William A. McComas, Esquire, to the Baltimore County Board of Appeals for a 3-year term.
Councilman Crandall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. McComas could not join us this evening, but he is quite excited to serve on the Board of Appeals, and you may remember Mr. McComas as a member of the Charter Review Commission. So I've gone back to the well to bring into public service an esteemed attorney who I believe will represent us honorably and very well on the Board of Appeals, and I'd appreciate your support.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the appointment?
So moved.
Second.
It's
Second.
been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the appointment.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk? Aye. Mrs. Almond?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Ayes have it. The appointment of Mr. William McComas is approved. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
The next item is a request from the county executive that the council approve the submission of 6 names to the governor of Maryland, and from those 6 names, the governor will appoint 2 persons to serve on the Property Tax Assessment Appeal Board.
Is there a motion to approve the recommendation?
I move it.
I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Almond?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Ayes have it. The recommendations are approved. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 40-18, a resolution to authorize the county to accept a gift. This is for introduction only this evening.
Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 41-18 is a resolution to rank 5 rural legacy area plan applications, also for introduction this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Next item, please.
And the final item is Resolution 42-18, which is sponsored by Councilman Quirk. This is a resolution of the council urging the county administration to provide certain health insurance coverage for county employees, also for introduction this evening.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Secretary, is there any further business to come before the council?
There is no further business, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned. It is customary that at the conclusion of every meeting, we give citizens an opportunity to come out and speak for 3 minutes on anything they would like. And this is one of the things that make me most proud, because here at the County Council is one of the only branches of government where you can do that. You cannot go to Annapolis on your own and guest speak on any subject you want. You cannot go to the United States Congress and guest speak on any subject you want. Only here will we give you that opportunity. So, on that note, I will call up Miss Valerie Andropoulos.
Androsopoulos. You're welcome, Val.
Thank you, Chairman, council members.
We thank you.
Good evening. We are 5 commissioners of the Baltimore County Commission for Environmental Quality. 4 of us are speaking tonight. Concerned citizens contacted the commission about a painted tree project at Oregon Ridge Park, asking whether the project was allowed and whether it might harm the trees and the forest. In short, citizens asked us repeatedly, how could this have happened? In response, the CEQ researched the project and its impacts, composed a report of its findings, and made recommendations to the council. We hand-delivered that report to each of you. We've met with each of you and the county executive's chief of staff to discuss the report and its recommendations and to answer questions. The background: Oregon Ridge Park is a 1,043-acre, mostly forested natural park purchased by the citizens of Baltimore County, and the Nature Center was built using public funds to promote better appreciation for the environment by offering recreational and educational programs to the public. Those are the missions of this park. In September 2017, 53 large, healthy canopy trees in Oregon Ridge Park were painted with 2 coats of exterior latex paint as a fundraiser for a private foundation. The director of the Baltimore County Recreation and Parks Department gave permission to the foundation to install a permanent art exhibit on public land to raise funds, $150,000. The foundation covered the lower 8 to 10 feet of the tree trunks with thick, brightly covered acrylic paints and installed 54 signs. Defacing wildlife and plants in Baltimore County parks, including living trees, is illegal. The decision to override this regulation was made with no record of public notice or input and without documentation and advice from stakeholders or forestry or environmental education experts who could have redirected the foundation towards other, less damaging projects. By current county code, the director of the Department of Recreation and Parks is allowed to make such a decision alone.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, if I may, just wanted to thank and acknowledge Val's work representing Southwest Baltimore County and also all the Commission for Environmental Quality. We really do appreciate all the work and time and effort each and every one of you put in. So thank you. Thank you so much for coming out and speaking on this issue as well.
Ms. Carol Newell.
Thank you. The CEQ, the Commission, made 5 recommendations in its report. The key recommendation for the Council to consider is recommendation number 1. That is, prevent further damage in this park and in other county parks by revising the Baltimore County Code to make it harder to make an exception to protecting the plants, animals, and natural ecological systems of the park. Revise the code to state that the purpose of any future exemption must be to enhance, not damage, forest health, and to enhance, not compromise, the educational and recreational goals of the park. Revise the code to require that any major shifts in goals and programming or mission in a park, or any exception to the regulations that prohibit damage to the natural features of a park, can be made only after due process, including input from stakeholders and experts, rather than by the director alone. Revise the code so that the decision-making process includes stakeholders, the public, and DEP's natural resource professionals. Revise the code to include a set of criteria or questions for granting exceptions to the prohibitions. For example, what kind of harm might occur? Who are the individuals and groups who will be affected by a decision to harm the park? How will the permitted action enhance the health of the natural organisms and systems in the park? Thank you.
Thank you. Lois Jacobs.
While Ms. Jacobson makes her way to the podium, Mr. Chair, I'd like to acknowledge Karen Wynn, who's the 7th District appointee on the CEQ. Karen is the Executive Director of the Back River Restoration Committee, which has removed, 3 million pounds? Over 3.1 million pounds of trash from the Back River watershed and keeping that trash out of the Chesapeake Bay. So, Karen, thank you for coming up tonight. Thank you for your work.
And Carol, I want to thank you for your service, not just on this panel, but also with Rada Ball Park and many other projects.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to thank Lois Jacobs, my appointment to the CEQ. Thank you for a marvelous job and for being so aware and conscious of things that are going on around us. Thank you.
Thank you. The remaining 4 recommendations of our Painted Tree Report were made to the executive branch of the county government, which supports these 2 recommendations. Establish the painted tree installation as a temporary exhibit with no repainting. Allow the paint to wear off the trees naturally. The Director of Recreation and Parks should deny proposals for potentially damaging projects or redirect the proposals to activities that are compatible with the park's mission and that will enhance the biological health of the park. The executive branch is currently considering these 2 recommendations. Remove all signs near each painted tree since they are a hazard and they distract from existing educational signage. And attempt to minimize the unintended lessons about defacing trees at Oregon Ridge Park by adding educational signage near the current entrance to the exhibit about the importance of respecting living things and the role of the lenticels, which are the breathing holes in the bark of living trees. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Linda Davis.
Why should this council act to change the county code? All decisions in a democratic government should be transparent, collaborative, and informed. This is an issue of fundamental importance to the way the county manages its resources. No one official should be able to make such a decision unilaterally without consultation and input from others with a key role in managing and protecting the resource. A project like this is contrary to established educational and recreational purposes and goals of the park. Its effects are contrary to the mandate of the Department of Recreation and Parks, which is to protect the plants, animals, and land in the park. A project like this is a major shift in the mission of the park. Negative impacts of this project include damage to the health of the trees and other tree-dependent species, interference with programming in environmental education, particularly since the Nature Center is a green center for the Maryland Association of Environmental and Outdoor Educators, supposedly demonstrating best practices and community engagement. Interference with nature and historic interpretation. Interference with recreational experiences. Interference with the positive psychological and emotional effects of spending time in natural parks. Unintended lessons about vandalism in parks and the implication that painting trees or other living features is acceptable. Decreased access to a natural forest for those with limited mobility, since the trees were painted right along the handicapped accessible trail. For example, disabled people, the elderly, and families with young children. These painted trees were located near the Nature Center, near the Nature Playground, and along the park's handicapped accessible trail. And negative effects on the county's reputation as a responsible steward for forests and parks. This tree painting project must not be allowed to set a precedent for other foundations and nonprofit organizations to propose similar damaging projects in this and other county parks, whether or not for the purpose of raising funds. At its core, this is a fundamental question about the detrimental use of public lands by a private entity without public input, expert advice, or consideration, one more sentence, of how such a project relates to the mission of the park, last sentence. The Baltimore County Commission for Environmental Quality recommends strongly that this council act to change the county code so that this kind of project will never again happen in a Baltimore County park.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Robin Elliott, please make your way up.
Yeah.
Councilman Katz.
Yes, just very quickly, I want to thank the commission for all of their efforts with this particular issue. Since Argon Ridge is in my district, I've gotten a number of calls from people in the area very concerned about the painted trees. Now, the charity is definitely worthwhile, and I appreciate the recommendations, and I hope that the administration will see fit to introduce them. Thank you.
Ms. Elliott.
Good evening. My name is Robin Elliott, and I'm here today representing Planned Parenthood of Maryland in support of Councilman Quirk's Resolution 4218. And thank you for the opportunity. I do appreciate how the Baltimore County Council is run and allows for public input. The resolution does one basic thing. It asks for the Baltimore County Health Plan to cover 12 months of birth control coverage at a time. What this means is that a woman can go to her pharmacy and pick up 12 months at a time. And why is this of interest? The main reason is that there is a whole body of research that shows that when women can get access to 12 months of coverage, that they are able to stay on the pill, not miss a dosage, and it reduces their risk of unintended pregnancy. This is the primary reason why it's a strong recommendation of the CDC that women get 12 months at a time. The state is moving forward to support this measure. I'm really very pleased to announce that Governor Hogan will be signing 3 bills tomorrow that ensure that women can pick up 12 months of birth control at a time. It'll be in state-regulated insurance plans, the State Employees Health Plan, and in Medicaid. And so Councilman Quirk's resolution would allow or pave the pathway for Baltimore County employees and their dependents to get the same access to coverage. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Elliott. Are there any additional comments from any of the members? Councilman Quirk?
Just briefly, I just wanted to thank my longtime friend as well, Robin Elliott, for coming out and all your great work you do every General Assembly in Annapolis as well. I really appreciate your advocacy. Thank you, Robin.
Okay, well, I certainly appreciate everyone coming out this evening. Have yourself a safe trip home, and this will conclude our meeting. Thank you.